Hey guys, Sheepard here again with another video from Final Fantasy XIV, and today we're going to be talking about gear progression at level 50. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about what gear you can obtain at level 50 and in which order you should do it. Other than that, we are going to be talking about your Relic Weapon, where to start the quest, and why you should start this. Now the first thing that people want to do once they reach their level cap is they want to get their gear up. They want to start gearing up, clearing dungeons and all that good stuff. However, in Final Fantasy XIV, the endgame dungeons are relatively hard in comparison to most MMOs. So because of this, it's generally a good idea to try and get maximum gear before you even set foot in a dungeon, and your first point of call is your Grand Company. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you finish your Hunting Log 2 with your Grand Company. By doing this, you're going to unlock the highest rank possible by promotion with your Grand Company. So as you guys can see here, if you didn't know, you can promote yourself within the Grand Company. And the way you do this is you talk to this guy here, and you simply just click promotion. It's going to come up with this UI element saying that you need 4,000, 6,000, 8,000 company seals to reach the next level. And you want to continuously do this until you reach the max rank. So as you guys can see on screen, I'm in the Order of the Twin Adder, and I am 2nd Serpent Lieutenant, which is the max rank. Now the reason that you do all this is simply so you can access the Quartermaster's 3rd tab of gear, and this is where the level 50 green items are. This is going to be the first piece of gear that you want to buy, as you probably will only have a level 44 weapon. As you guys can see, these are all weapons and they're item level 55, and this is going to give you a huge DPS or healing boost in the instances that we're about to go into. If you currently don't have enough seals, then you can gain them by doing the company's supply and provision missions, or you can just go farm fates at any location in the world. So now that you've got your weapon and any other gear that you can acquire from the Grand Company, it's now time to start farming some dungeons. Now there are currently 2 level 50 dungeons which drop loot, which is Amdapor Keep and the Wanderer's Palace. There are also 2 other instances at level 50 which you will have done for the main story quest. However, these 2 instances do not drop any loot, but they do drop Allagan Tombstones. So we're going to talk about what these tombstones are and how you can use them to gear up your character. So first of all, there's 2 types of tombstone. The first one is Allagan Tombstones of Philosophy, and the second one is Allagan Tombstone of Mythology. So as I said previously, these drop from every single level 50 instance when you kill bosses, and as you can see by the table, it makes the most sense to farm Amdapor Keep, for the reason that it is the most efficient dungeon to run in terms of time and speed. It gives the biggest amount of Allagan Tombstones of Philosophy and Mythology added together, and also it drops item level 60 green gear. So in my opinion, it is by far the best place to go to Amdapor Keep, but at the same time it might be a little bit troublesome for the first time people to go there, so make sure 1, you check out my video guide because it will help you like crazy, and 2, you definitely want to check out Wanderer's Palace at least 1 or 2 times just to see the dungeon, and you might want to farm it for specific pieces of gear that you found on a loot table, as it does drop item level 55 green gear also. So before we talk about how to spend your Allagan Tombstones, I'd just like to show some examples of the gear that I managed to pick up in some Amdapor Keep runs. So as you guys can see, this gear is a hell of a lot better than the level 45 to 50 blue artifact gear that you have from the main story, and it's pretty much your second step on your way to great gear in progression at level 50. So now we're going to talk about how to spend your tombstones, where you can do it, and why they're so important in your gear progression. Now, as you guys can see on screen, I am in Revenant's Toll, which is a level 50 zone. You know how to get there if you're level 50. And there's an NPC here where you can trade in these tokens to get very high level gear. By trading in your tokens of Philosophy, you can get item level 70 gear. And by trading in your tokens of Mythology, you can get item level 90 gear. Now, the first tokens you can farm as much as you want, and you can spend as much gear as you want per week. However, the second tokens, the tokens in Mythology, you can only get 300 a week. So for this reason, you want to cap out this 300 Mythology tokens a week. And you can do this with just 8 Amdapor Keep runs if you wish. Now this cap, the weekly cap of 300, it resets every Monday about midday. So make sure that you've got your 300 tokens before then. When it comes to spending the tombstones, you can see that the Philosophy gear ranges from about 300 to 1,300 tombstones. So you pretty much just want to farm these as much as possible and get capped out on your Dark Light gear. Meanwhile, of course, you want to be building up your Mythology tombstones to the point where you can either buy gear, which ranges from 300 to 900 tombstones, or you can save it for your Relic Quest, and that's what we're going to talk about now. So once you've reached level 50, you finish the main story, and you've also finished your main class quests, you're going to be able to head to Vesper Bay and talk to Nedrick, as you can see on screen. he's going to give you a quest called Weaponsmith of Legend. And this is going to be a huge chain quest which is eventually going to give you a Relic Weapon, which at current is, I believe, the most powerful weapon in the game per class. So this chain quest is extremely long, and I am going to be putting out a separate video on that, so make sure you stay tuned to my channel so you don't miss it. But in short, this is going to be a long chain quest which requires you to do a lot of stuff, such as create a weapon or buy it off the auction house, meld some materia to it, kill some hard mode bosses in some instances, and finally, kill the 3 primal hard modes. So we're going to talk about those now. So as you guys know, on the way up to level 50 in the story quest, you managed to defeat Ifrit, Garuda and Titan. So for the Relic Quest, you're going to have to go back and you're going to have to do these on hard mode. Now what does hard mode mean? It means, one, they're obviously a lot harder. There's not only 4 players, but there's 8. There's increased mechanics, more damage and more healing needed to take down these bosses. So what I'm going to do is, these bosses are pretty damn hard, and I'm going to be putting up video guides in the next couple of days which is going to tell you exactly how to defeat them. As I said before, the main reason that you want to go in there and kill these bosses is so that you can complete the requirements for your Relic Weapon. However, you can go in there early and scope out the bosses and kill them as they do drop loot. As you guys can see, I have currently killed Ifrit and Garuda hard mode, and these are the 2 bows which I managed to acquire from them. So in all honesty, I went in before I had my Relic Weapon done. The main reason for this is that there was no crafters on the server who could make it, so when it came onto the auction house it was 300,000 gold, and I didn't have the money. But now that there's more crafters, the price has dropped to 28,000, so it's worth buying that, getting the material melded onto it, getting your Relic Quest up to the point where you need to do the primals, and then head into the primals to kill them. So after all this is done and you've got your Relic Weapon, which is probably going to take a while, you actually unlock the first raid instance in the game, which is called Coil of Bahamut. Now we don't need to worry about this instance as of yet because you need to do so much before you get there, and people are saying that every boss in there is a massive DPS check and that they need to go back and farm Tombstones of Mythology so they can raise their overall gear level. So guys, that's going to be the end of this video on level 50 gear progression. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the content that I have here pretty much daily on the channel. And other than that, if you have any questions, then please put them in the comments below, or any suggestions, as I do reply to every single comment that is put on my video. Other than that guys, thanks for watching, and I will have a video out tomorrow which is going to be Ifrit Hardmode. So make sure that you check that out if you're at that point on the Relic Quest, or if you're interested in the fight. So guys, thanks for watching. I will see you tomorrow. Now, moving on to the second boss in the instance. This is called the Demon Wall. It's probably the most fun boss in here. I really enjoy it. However, it seems to cause a little bit of trouble with some people who've never done it before, so therefore we'll call it the hardest boss as well. So this boss has 3 main abilities. The first one you can see here on screen is these void zones. Now they're going to spawn in a specific pattern, and pretty much you're just going to want to make sure that you're never in these void zones. They're only going to be there for a couple of seconds at a time, and once that one disappears you can move directly into the safe zone of the next one. So as you can see, the first one is going to spawn in the center, thus the safe zone is either the left or the right. Once that one disappears, you're going to want to move in.